Welcome to this demonstration of how to make a staff or governance board meeting easy with Miro. I've already created the Miro board for this meeting, which is you're looking at one screen of that board right now. And what you're going to do as the meeting leader is you're simply going to send a link of the Miro board, which is up here, to the participants of the meeting. And then at the designated meeting time, all the participants are going to click into this Miro board. And you also provide instructions in your meeting invite that once they get into the board, they're to start a video conference by coming up to the video icon in the upper right here, clicking on that, and then starting the video call. They'll get to view themselves, lovely, and then you can start the video conference. And then once that is done, everyone's going to have a bubble of themselves in the meeting. So you have this video conference going on. Okay, so as I said, I've created a navigation screen for this meeting. I do that for all my meetings. It makes facilitating very, very easy. You're just going to step through the link buttons on your navigation screen, and then after each button, you come back to the navigation screen. So in this case, this meeting is going to start with an engaging name tag exercise because there happen to be a few guests who are joining this hypothetical sustainability governance meeting. So the first thing I'm going to do as the meeting leader, once everyone's in here, I'm going to go to the name tag exercise. Now I can instruct everyone to do this too. Please click on the link, go to the name tag exercise. You should now be seeing the name tag screen on your in the Miro board, and then as the meeting leader, you're going to explain how this exercise is going to work. So as a leader, I'm going to say I'm going to demonstrate the exercise by going first, but let me first explain what's going to happen. What's going to happen is a person is going to put a red dot by a name. When the red dot is next to your name, you're going to go woo, so everyone knows who you are. And then you're going to tag the next person with a red dot, and the exercise is going to continue until everyone has a red dot by their name. So to illustrate, you just click on a red dot, you grab it and drag it to someone. So I'm going to drag it to Drew. So then Drew's going to go woo, and then Drew's going to tag the next person, and that's going to continue until everyone's tagged. So once that exercise is done, you can click on the Return to Navigation button and go back to your navigation screen. Next for the meeting is going to be a welcome from our sponsor, our executive sponsor. So I just click on the navigation to that, and then here the executive sponsor is going to say a few words of welcome, might have a message for this governance board. And then once their opening comments are done, I'm going to go back to the navigation. And next up is an overview. This is where you talk about the objectives for the meeting, the agenda, norms, things like that. This is an overview that is presented by me. So I'm going to click on that, go to the overview. And at this point, you can use a feature in Miro, which is great, which I'm not going to demonstrate here. But what you do is you simply click on the first slide of your presentation, and then you can go into presentation mode by clicking this presentation button there. And what that enables you to do is give participants an opportunity to provide input. And I have an example here, which I did earlier, which is allowing them to use Post-it notes to provide comments. There's also a commenting tool and some editing tools. So lots of capability there. Like I said, I'm not going to do that right now because it actually bumps me out of this video, which I learned earlier. But in this overview, it turns out that this governance board already has a governance charter. So we start off with reviewing what our mission and vision is from that charter, as well as our strategic intent. And then I go to the next slide, which is the objectives for this meeting. Here we're going to understand plans and progress towards meeting deliverables, and we're going to assess resources needed to support current plans, and we're going to check that plans are consistent with our governance charter. Next up, I have our norms, which we did this particular governance board did an exercise to determine norms. We actually have 15 norms, but we like to review our norms at the beginning of the meeting just to make sure we remember them and act consistent with them. So here's some of them and the remaining norms. So you see the norm and then an explanation of why that norm is important to us. Next up is the deliverables that this meeting is focused on. So there's 5 sustainability deliverables. And then next up, we have a summary of what are going to be the updates on these meeting deliverables. So in blue are the meeting deliverables, and then the gray boxes are what are going to be the updates happening in this meeting. And finally is the high-level agenda. And you can see that different people are involved here. So right now I'm doing the introduction. Bob is our executive sponsor. We're going to have 5 updates for our 5 deliverables by different people. And note that the presentations for these deliverables have already been updated into the Miro board ahead of time. This is fairly easy to do. You can either cut and paste from an existing PowerPoint presentation, or you can create the presentation right in Miro, whichever is easiest for your presenters. And then finally, there's going to be a feedback exercise to close the meeting. All right, so I'm going to go back to navigation. So first up is going to be the deliverable 1 update. So just you have the presenter for that. Click on the link to go to their presentation. This is the Sustainability Supply Chain Summit presentation. Again, they can click on their slide, go into presentation mode, which allows the participants to offer input, either post-it notes or edits or comments. And so the presenter, once they're in presentation mode, they're going to use the right arrow to click to the next slide. And you'll see I have these slides lined up horizontally on the board to make that easier. Here they're going to talk about the sustainability principles that they came up with at the workshop. They're going to talk about the strategic drive behind this effort in the supply chain as part of the update. They're going to talk about what's really a pull to do this, which is carbon footprint labeling that's happening both in the United States and France, and then a push through the GSA. So once the presenter's done, they click stop to get out of presentation mode, and then they return to the navigation screen. And then next up is the person doing the deliverable 2 update, which happens to be me. This is an update on Lighthouse Project. So I talk about, remind everyone what that is. And then I go through this update on a life cycle assessment process, and then return to navigation. And you're going to repeat this for the presenter for deliverable 3, presenter for deliverable 4, presenter for deliverable 5. And keep in mind that you are also collecting participant input as you go. This is really important because you can actually export the entire content of the board, including participant input, to a PDF document if you wish after the meeting. You can also cut and paste participant input from the Miro board, because it's in digital form, to a favorite app. My favorite app is Mind Manager. I use that all the time. I really like that. And then you can do further processing of that input. And so then once all the presentations are done, the meeting's just about over, I always like to include feedback from participants. So what you're going to do here, you have 11 participants in this meeting. You're going to ask each participant to fill in 1 feedback card. And I'm just going to go down here to zoom in a little bit so I can see that better. But you just simply, what about this meeting worked well for you? Click on that and type your input. I loved everything. And so on. What about this meeting didn't work well for you, and any other comments? And then once everyone has provided their input, you are again going to go back to, you can either end the meeting here, which is fine. In this case, I'm going to go back to the navigation screen because I just have some ending comments, which are just to let you know that I have a course called Virtual Meeting Mastery, how to lead virtual meetings that produce the most results for the investment. Included in there, I do have a primer on Miro that shows you how to create a board like the one we've been navigating through. I'm also offering to those watching this a free 30-minute facilitation consult to learn what facilitation can do for you. So simply email me at valerie.patrick@fulcrumconnection.com and say you want to have that facilitation consult, and we will get that scheduled. Thank you for watching.